Not. So Patrick, do we, do we describe this for everybody, Rob?
What?
You describe it. You describe it.
What?
I do enough talking.
Whatever. What?
I think any car's dead at iRacing. I think it's gone.
Oh, it's definitely. I agree. It's not going to survive much, but I still think we'll find opportunities to race it, just not as fruitful as before. Some of your, like, some of them just want to like make. What's the thing? Like that guy wanted to make like dolls out of Tyler's hair, but then there's just other guys who are just like. He did. He would say weird things to Tyler, man. Like he was a strange guy. And then like other guys would just show up and he's like, "Oh, we never met you? Sure, come race this 24 with us." And then just jump in the car and wreck us out in a lap and be like, "Okay, never see you again."
Yeah, that
like,
was
okay. Well, better luck next year, I guess.
That was the guy from.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racing enthusiasts all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. The car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and racing teams. Our skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly racing series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 200,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Participate in solo races, championship seasons, and hosted in league events with AI Racing. With a rapidly expanding catalog of 70-plus cars and 85-plus tracks from real-world racing series, test your abilities with challenging computer-based competition. Additional partners include IMSA, the World of Outlaws, and Supercars, allowing members to participate in their very own Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, Sebring 12-Hour, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
We are live. Welcome along. It's Belle. It's round 8. We're live from the Windy City. And it's Detroit. And that's Chicago. Either way, it's North America. We're doing things here in time with the music. Well, it's going to be another cracker here in XSLR round 8 of Season 6 with myself, Tim Cox, bringing you all the action from the track with a small grid tonight. But there's no we are short on any form of action whatsoever. It's going to be a cracker. Qualifying not too far away. Look at all the graphic. It's slightly out. Does that bother us? No. It does not. At all. Anyway. We get stuck into things very, very shortly. Of course, leading to this round. Just a random group running and streaming well. So it's Adam Thompson. He's not with us tonight. Doesn't mean anything. Mike Soren returned recently to the league. And was Mike? Was Mike? He kicked it where he left. That's for sure. but we're going to get stuck into things. Who will come out on top this evening? Well, that is the big question. Big chance now to really haul some points in. These closing stages of the season, only 2 more rounds left after this evening. Do take a week's break next week, but we'll be back. As we head to Daytona for the doubleheader, the Oval, and then the road. Should get some nice. Should we get the sexies in? Get the sexy shots in. So music fades away. Fade across into practice right now. And we'll get to see who's getting on with what in practice. And, well, Soslo, everybody is in the pits. Nice and helpful. I'll say for our Randall McGrew. There he is in the 777 machine. Ultimately, between himself and Justin Barrera tonight, who will take victory here from Belle. Bit of a crazy circuit, this one. It doesn't even exist anymore, does it, fans? It doesn't. So, this is the beauty of sim racing. You get to road racing on places that just do not exist anymore. And with track and car combos that, well, you would never see in the real world. You'd never come to expect. You get to do amazing stuff. I don't know, take the brand new prototypes of LMDH and LMH around, I don't know, maybe the Nordschleife. That wouldn't happen in real life. Well, they technically did with the Porsche 919 LMP1. They absolutely smashed the lap record around there. Amazing feat of engineering. It was, of course, the Evo version. Some of the restrictor plates taken off. It was just let off the reins and went, there you go. See what you can do. And my golly, it absolutely smashed things. Now, after last week's, how can we put it? Faux part from myself, where for some reason it all went wrong, unbeknown to myself. So I carried on commentating and bringing you the excitement and the drama from Phoenix, but nobody could see it. Always helpful and reassuring, isn't it? Anyhow, we're back this week with full coverage. Good to know. Definitely good to know. Well, and of course we've got the championship starting to hot up as well as we come to the closing stages. Points up for grabs, well, as they were anyway. However, they mean even more right now. Got practice. Oh, we've got a fair bit of practice left, haven't we? So we get to sit back and enjoy things. And to be fair, we're not going far away from those timings that we had up earlier on. And so I tell you what, let's have a little head back across to said screen. Oh, it all went wrong. Hold on. There it is. And we will get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Should we go for a little ride on board with our random crew here around Belle Isle? Let's just go around the back of the circuit. This is a really good opportunity for us to do so right now. Let's take a ride on board at Belle Isle. Watch him sticking on the wall now. Bring this moment in the spotlight. that's done, folks. That is how it's done in the hands there of our very own main man in the seat, Randall McGrew. And we are not far away at all from qualifying. Got about another 3 minutes left of practice. We have come in a little bit early. I can tell you from practice, though, fastest lap being set by Justin Barrera. Randall McGrew just ever so slightly slower. So, you know, but it's all going to come down to race pace, and we know as well with Belle. This is the crucial thing. It's a street circuit. One tiny mistake and it punishes you badly. Majorly. Just like that, folks. Just like that. Now, in the event of that happening, the drivers do have one fast repair available to their name. That could prove to be extremely helpful. Extremely. And I think one or two may well end up utilising that. But at your peril, isn't it? Because, as we know, race fans, and sim racing, you know, sim racing fans as a whole, if you use the fast repair too early on, for the amount of bit of damage, maybe you're losing pace on the car in front of you, can prove to be a little bit. It's a bit of risk, isn't it? It's risk and reward. You're going to gain time from it. That's great. That's really, really helpful. Really good. However, what happens if you have another incident that's even bigger? Well, it destroys your race, don't it? If you don't have another one, well, you should have utilised it early on. The drivers will have to make one stop this evening. There's an alternative pit box entry there from Justin Barrera. So always the tricky point, always, as always. I can tell you we're not far from practice coming to an end, just seconds away from then we'll have qualifying getting underway here from Detroit. We're going to find out who is going to line up, grabbing that pole position. It's a challenging one for me, it's a challenging one for you. It's a challenging one for the drivers. Fantastic, I've got my good friend Scotch to help me through this one. And to quote Anchorman, I love Scotch. Scotchy Scotch Scotch. Go down with Tommy. It's a Chivas 12-year-old. Can thoroughly recommend it, viewers. Can thoroughly recommend it. Normally, quite enjoy a Talisker. That's a brilliant whiskey out of Speyside. And, oh, I can tell you, we've clicked over into qualifying. That's good news. The graphic's only slightly out. Never mind. Let's get stuck into proceedings. Thank you to our good sponsors as well for this. Dead Alley Motorsport. Also, we have Dangerous. Brilliant 3D rendering services. Kind, generous, long-term sponsors of the Slow Motion Broadcasting channel. Saw them in the intro. Of course, it's the Apex podcast as well. It's just on their outlaps now. It's cool ties, just trying to get a bit of a feel for things. Get things warmed up. But yeah, having a creek there. Let's take a little look at the weather situation that we have got going on here at Belle Isle. It's appearing on the right hand side of your screen there. 28 degrees Celsius average temperature. That's 39 degrees centigrade in track temperature. So that's going to be a bit of a skatey one now. I know what you're thinking, viewers. I know what you're thinking, Tim. Tim, what is that in freedom units? I don't do any of that communist Celsius nonsense. Well, ready? La Bosch. There we go. 103 Fahrenheit track temperature, 82 Fahrenheit ambient. 50 miles an hour wind, so that's going to be a little bit gusty. A little bit gusty. So, who's doing what in qualifying? Well, obviously we've seen Marin McGrew. He's out on his first flying lap, so it's Justin Barrera. He's going fastest of anyone. Lone qualifying, so the drivers are by themselves out on track. Whole place themselves. You have 2 laps in which to set their fastest time. A little wiggle there from Barrera. Maybe clearly feeling a little bit light, just needs to get a little bit more temperature in those tyres, although with this high track temperature, plenty of curves around Belle Isle. Doesn't need to really worry too much about that one, so those tyres will come in relatively quickly. So we wait for him to come around this final corner. You can hear the engine. Crew across the line first. Setting that 120.616, and that is how close it is. 300ths of a second separating McGrew and Barrera in this showdown. Saw him on the way up. It's 69. A little bit off the pace, but hey, that doesn't mean anything because he's guaranteed a place on the podium. And also, all he needs to do is Barrera into the pits. Bold strategy there, McGrew. No improvement in Sector 1. Personal best in Sector 2. Fastest of anyone in Sector 3 in that 777 machine. But if McGrew and Barrera come together, if they stick it in the wall, Mike saw him. If he just plays, hare and tortoise this, with Mike being the tortoise, rather hairy tortoise, let's face it, viewers. A man with luxurious, long-flowing locks. It's amazing, really, with his wife being a hairdresser, that she lets him have it so long. Clearly, Mike not trusting his peers and going to shears. Wow, that's going to be qualifying done and dusted. McGrew still... wait, no, he's just finished his lap. Did he improve on that final one? So McGrew still the enigmatic Mike Sorum. No, he did not. He actually went 2 tenths slower, viewers. So I'm just going to wait now for session 2 transition over. Of course, Barrera and Sorum not setting their laps, so we're going to have to hang around a little bit now. Maybe enjoy a little drink. A little sip of your scotch. Yes, please. Now, as you can see from the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, viewers, Ronald McGrew is a member of the Ann Thompson fan club. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can I join the Adam Thompson fan club? And that is an excellent question. Well, unfortunately, there's only room for 1 member. And realistically, even the fan club thought that was too many members. Now, unfortunately, they can't really have 0, otherwise the fan club wouldn't exist. They can't even have negative numbers. So, Randall McGrew took 1 for the team, and it's very generous of him. And he decided to become the lonesome member of the Ann Thompson fan club. A fan club that does not even include his wife or his dog Lewis. Even Lewis thinks he's a bit of a tosser as well. I mean, can you blame him? Hence why he's not with us this evening. You can just see the picture, background there across the lake. Some of the downtown housing from Detroit. It's a beautiful circuit, as we can see here from the drone camera. We get an appreciation, it's parkland setting. A little bit of resembles the, of course, Montreal. The F1 circuit, of course, also available on the iRacing service. Now, viewers, Do I have a little bit of Coke with a whiskey? What's your view on it? Are you just a nice person? Maybe a dash of water. Now, apparently, that's meant to absorb all the bitter minerals within it and gives it a much more clear, pure taste. But it's a very precise amount of water. It's like literally a splat. It's a little more than splash. Now, about a couple of years ago, I took a really expensive bottle of Johnny Walker. Very disappointed by it. Very disappointed by it. I'm also partial to a little bit of spiced rum. I don't know about yourself. It's good to have you on board there, Finny McFinger. It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be wet, wild, crazy. Stand by, folks. Stand by. Because anything can happen, anything will happen on a street circuit. Hopefully something does happen. You never quite know. Now, I do have admin rights. There could be a random safety car. You never quite know. These things you can just randomly trigger at any point. Would I be so cruel? Probably not. Probably not. Now, we do obviously have an award for drivers who have picked up the least amount of incident points throughout the season. Now, I can tell you, Jimmy Howart's doing very, very well, and that so is Simon Foweather. Neither of them with us tonight, sadly. However, I'll tell you, they're well in the race for that one. Although I do believe possibly Foweather will have dropped out of that one now, because you can have 2 weeks where you don't turn up or drop rounds effectively. So, I do believe Foweather is out of the equation now. Could be wrong though. I will check into that later on for you. However, Howard's still in the shout, although slightly controversial circumstances due to his ability to only complete about 5 laps in each race. So that one will be, I'm sure, deliberated over by the administration team of XSLR. As we have got 1 minute and 3 seconds to go before we can transition across into racing conditions. Now, don't forget, feel free to give us a little like here. Or alternatively, because I am shameless, I'm going to find a little exciting link for you. Let's see if we can... let's see if we can get into this one, and I will bring to that one to you shortly, because when commentators are not drinking scotch, do you know what they quite enjoy? Well, viewers, they quite enjoy a cup of coffee. And in a shameless plug, that's borderline illegal for doing this, you can buy the commentator a cup of coffee. The link's in the chat now. Hashtag just saying. Hashtag just saying. Now, look, there we go. Checker flags out. Good news, viewers. We can transition now across to take to the grid. And we've got a rolling start. And, well, on the Porsche 911 safety car, there they are. Let's get stuck into the situation of the grid. Here we go. It's going to take a long time to get through these. Randall McGrew, Justin Barrera make the front row. Mike Sorum props at the field. Now, sadly, my graphic is not broken there. That's all we have. Now, whereabouts are they at the circuit? They're at the back end. We'll be going racing, going green very, very shortly. Porsche 911 safety car into the pits there. So we are green. And we are racing here from Belle Isle. And there's no change whatsoever to the standings. So head down towards turn 2 for the first time. No, turn 3. Screaming down. Like a bunch of banshees. They make their way through. Now Sorum, if he's clever, will just Just keep in the equation. So while these two gallop off into the distance, if they smack it in the wall, he will be there, laughing all the way to the bank. So we wait for him to arrive down at turn 7. You can hear them. They're coming. Well, not that sort. Not that sort. Don't be so rude. Now, I just find this part of the circuit really, really tricky. Turns 8 through into 11. The car sort of just meanders around. It feels really clumsy, clunky. Now you really start to wind up to, well, towards the front straightaway. It's a bit of a strange circuit, this, in that it's actually curved in itself. I paid witness and commentated on a scintillating race from here probably a good year ago, maybe longer. Was it really 2 years ago? It could well even be 2 years ago. Where does the time go? Where does the time go? Now is an excellent question. However, see my surround still in the equation, right in the background there. Now they have inbuilt software called Race Director, which triggers safety cars within iRacing. Brilliant bit of software. And tell you what, that race came down to the wire. GT3, Porsche Cup, and GT4. My good friend Paul Busby led in GT4 for the entirety of the race until the last 15 minutes out of a 4-hour race, where there is one tiny piece of grass here at Belle. Well, he found it, turned the car, stuck it straight in the wall, wrote it off, end of game over. Gutting all that time, and then you stick it in the wall. Sad times, sad, sad times. Porsche Cup, the battle was tight in the entire race, and it came down to the last 5 minutes, the final laps. Whew, that was a race to remember. That is for certain. Now, I know you're wondering, viewers, what is the name of the league? And that is an excellent question, and I currently can't remember it. FTR, by FTR Events. For the race. Oh dear, Mike Sorum's into the pits. Has he given up? That's the bit of grass that's all Busby found. Well, the only piece of grass around here. Doesn't look like he smacked the wall. Is that going to be a permanent park? That car does not look like it's up on the jacks. Oh no, is it? Oh. He's out of the equation. Well, good news for him. He will pick up championship points for attending. And he's going to... he's come third. Oh. So, it's a two-way shootout. It's McGrew versus Barrera. McGrew leads 1 second. We haven't turned on. I'll say we're probably a good point in the race now to 4 minutes in. Yep, Sorum has fully parked it. He's out. He's done, dusted. So it's now a two-way fight between McGrew and Barrera. I'll tell you what. Should we do this? Should we have a little bit of a ride on board for a lap? Now, the question is, I think we need to be with Justin Barrera, because then we can see how our lines are just alternating between ourselves and Random McGrew. Maybe picking a few tips here, viewers. It's a clatter across the bumps. Oh, did he hit the wall? Did he hit the wall? Did my ears deceive me, viewers? No, we're okay. We're okay. We're all right. Panic over. Just moving through here. Let's turn up the noise from Belle Isle. Enjoy a flying lap. Or with Justin Barrera around Belle Isle. Now, what do we learn from that lap, viewers? Not a lot. These two very evenly matched in terms of their ride rating, their ability, their raw speed. But actually, so are their lines. Any surprises there? I think not. For a slightly wider angle so we can encapsulate both our drivers. Only a second between the pair of them. Lap 6 out of 37. We've got 31 laps to go. I feel a little bit like Ricky Gervais right now. Now, his whole speech he did at the Golden Globes he was covering. I think it might have been. Where he was like, oh, God. Slating everyone. Leonardo DiCaprio. To Tom Hanks, he ripped it into. All the actors about being mates with Jeffrey Epstein, not being able to come on his jet. And going, oh God, 3 more hours than this, God. But towards the end, he's going, oh God, 20 minutes, come on guys, we can do this, 1 left to go. And the whole way through, he's just, oh, I don't care, while sipping on a beer. Barrera setting a personal best lap there, 21 dead. Whereas Greaves was slightly slower than that one. Now, those of you that like an explosive shootout, it's fast, furious, comes at you thick and fast. This is not quite it. It's a long, drawn-out affair, but it is a shootout nonetheless between 2 of the top drivers in XSLR. And we've got 30 laps to it. Ooh. Enjoy it. Was that a scrape of the wall from Barrera there? Was it? Let's have a bit of a look. Well, the trouble is all the camera angles are generally on the outside here. Let's see at XSLR. At Belle Isle even. See if we can try and capture something for you here, viewers. Bear with me. Work through some of these camera angles. These side-on ones here. Left side's good. It's the wall. Now, right side looking good too. I think if we did, he's lived to fight another day. The clatterings. The pounding. So these cars are taking around Belle Isle, of course, being a street circuit. Actually going to get that bumps in the road where you would expect them. These pristinely flat, modern circuits. You call it paved, we call it tarmacked. Some call it asphalt. Now, if we had Jimmy out here, he would say that asphalt is something very different. It's something he normally does after a few beers in a bar. To women he's trying to be amorous with. Who doesn't love a road surface based joke? It's turn 1. Out onto lap 9 now. Barrera, new fastest lap of the race. He's pushing. Gap expanding out to a second. We've dropped down to 4 tenths now, viewers. That is good. Will he make the lunge? When will he make the lunge? So many questions. It's down to 3 tenths. Here we go. Hold tight, everyone. Are we feeling a move being set up here? McGrew just maybe just easing off things. He's in front. It's tricky to pass around here. McGrew just dropping off a little bit, but still remaining about a quarter of a second back. Harassing, haranguing McGrew to try and make a mistake here. McGrew, there you go, there it is. He's into the wall, he's a tank slapper. That's the mistake that Barrera was looking for. But this is the thing, because McGrew is ahead and he's remained ahead. It's such a crucial part, because it's so hard to pat. There you go, Barrera into the wall. It's his turn now. Both of them with damage. Now this circuit came along in 1992 and it's been extended since then. Of course, this section they're heading down now, down towards turn 3, being the newest section. After turn 2, you can turn hook or right, which just then bring you out by turn 5. The old original circuit does still remain. Now, the raceway on Detroit's Belle. It's located on an island, Parkland, in the Detroit River. So you saw from those spectacular shots earlier on. It was host of the city's Grand Prix between 1992 and 2002 after it. And of course switched back to the downtown area. Of course, as mentioned earlier, sadly this track no longer with us. However, we are, through the beauty of sim racing, still able to race on it. The circuit was created from the existing roadways in the park and proved an improvement over the bumpy circuit around the Renaissance Centre, even if racing wasn't always the best. That improvements came in 1998. The course was extended, as we mentioned earlier, that longer stretch down towards turn 2, so turn 3 even. Hiccup but kicking in. To create a better overtaking opportunity around here, because it is tough. Talking of which, Barrera's still just under 3 tenths ahead. Has a bit of a look. Trying to distract McGrew once again. Also, Barrera is clever with this because he is fuel saving. While remaining so close. Now, the circuit hosted the annual visit of IndyCar and the IMSA WeatherTech Championship through to 2022. Barrera scraping the wall again. The concrete canyons which created Formula 1 and IndyCars drivers in the old original downtown circuit. Still obviously here and ever present at Belle Isle. And of course did at least offer a better viewing facility for spectators and TV audiences alike. As Barrera scrapes the wall again. Teams were slightly less impressed, however, with the paddock facilities which could turn into a muddy mess in inclement weather. Well, the drivers found the tight, twisty course which offered few overtaking opportunities. Shortcomings aside, let's face it, the Detroit Grand Prix established a firm place in the kart calendar with Brother Penske promoting the event. And with a name like that behind you, I mean, who could argue? Yeah, someone who's come into IMSA WEC and also trying to get into Formula 1, this old Roger. And the initial course stretched for 2.1 miles around the existing Parkland Rose, of course, until 1997. Now, for the 1998 event, of course, we had that straight added on. That sort of stretch there is called Central Avenue. It's a newly built link road which turned to the original course at turn 7. Now, this opened up, obviously, plenty of overtaking opportunities. You know, it's a really solid place. Yeah, plenty of speed, hard onto the brakes, hooker right. Classic textbook overtaking opportunity. This year's layout was used by karts up until 2001, after which the event died away with Penske switching codes to the then all-oval Indy Racing League. I mean, can you remember back to when it was karts on the Indy Racing League? I can remember as a young boy, I was pro kart rather than the Indy Racing League. We used to have karts on free-to-air channels. You stay up as a young boy to watch it till late into the night. Absolutely loved it. Ben Edwards of commentary fame, a British commentator, commentated Formula 1 for, well, actually many years off and on. Largely for, started off on, it was largely on Eurosport. What was then paid, say paid for you. It was on satellite television, so it required a subscription to see it. Then, later on, when after Murray Walker retiring, a few changes around, we then got the gig for Formula 1 in the UK on the free-to-air channels, BBC and then Channel 4. But yes, let me know, if anyone is watching, which do you prefer, kart or Indy Racing League? Now, race engines fell silent on the island for the next 6 years, but in 2007 the race was once again revived for a double-header weekend featuring the now unified IndyCar Series and the American Le Mans Series, which of course went on to become IMSA. As for the following year's events, the race once again utilised the shorter original course, the Link Road, having fallen into relative disrepair in the intervening years. Well, for those with another scrape of the wall, then it's these clatterings of the suspension, really deceptive. Sounds like they've hit the wall when sometimes they actually haven't. Also, Turn 9 had also been modified to create a tighter and slower entry. A 2009 event was scheduled, but sadly, eventually it was cancelled, victim of the downturn in the Detroit automotive industry and the city's economic struggles, which sadly, I mean, it's well publicised, isn't it? Just the amount of struggles that the city of Detroit has really been through. And, you know, it's where brands have consolidated, and realistically now we only have about 7 or 8 car manufacturers globally. So many of them owned by, you know, if you might of the Volkswagen Group. Oddly, Toyota, one of the largest car producers in the world. I think the 3rd largest. Yet they only have the Toyota brand. I mean, there's Lexus as well, but it's just a rebadged Toyota. As much as it is their premium brand. And why do they insist on using CVT gearboxes? Those things are horrible. Just like the Calvin Group is feeling right now. It must be horrible having Barrera remain 2 to 3 tenths behind you constantly. It closes up within 2 tenths there. Pushing hard is Barrera. Now, where were me in my history lesson? That's right. Roger Penske always remained open to the idea of racing making a return to the island, and after 4-year hiatus, IndyCar returns, this time in partnership with the Grand Am Series. Now, proceeds from the event were used to fund improvements to the facilities on Belle. Once again, the short course was utilised in 2012 with a sealed surface paddock area, the only major change. The surface link roads are allowed the use of the longer course once more from 2013 onwards. Now, the island itself has a much longer history beyond the Grand Prix, covering 982 acres in the centre of the Detroit River between the city and Windsor in Canada. It was first settled by French colonists in the 18th century, who named it Île aux Choucons. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Île aux Choucons. Basically, Honk Island is what it translates that. Now, it gains its present name in 1845. And that's possibly in recognition of physician Henry Belle. It was landscaped all the way back in the 1880s by one Frederick L. Olmsted. The highlights of Belle are the aquarium. It's the oldest such facility in the USA, having opened all the way back in 1904, which you got a bit. It's a bit of a strange place to have an aquarium, isn't it? It must be quite a few challenges with getting the fish there. I mean, having said that, they are going over water, which fish are, of course, renowned for living in. Even so, sure, you know, constructing it did present its own challenges. All the way back then, even though we're into the Industrial Revolution era, of course. Who started that one? Of course, the epic British. Now, the Scott Fountain and the Botanical Garden in the Anna Scripps Whitcomb Conservatory. The conservatory and the 1908 Belle Isle Casino were constructed by Detroit architect Albert Kahn, well known for developing open floor plan concrete factories. That's a bit of a different gig to get, isn't it, really? You know, go from making tin sheds and large expansive concrete floors to making something a little bit more refined in the form of a casino. The casino building is no longer a gambling facility, but it's still used for public events. I love the way they utilise that there. Belle Isle also was home to a large herd of European fallow deer for more than 50 years. A few remain as exhibits to as a nature centre, but the last of the 300 roaming animals were captured in 2004 and relocated. That's a bit of a shame. Now, various other entities call Belle Isle home, including the Dawson Great Lakes Museum. Sounds like something here. Oh, the great British heavyweight boxer Tyson Fury, we call him. His favourite word is Dosser. No, Dawson is not really the same, but you know what I mean. You can see what I'm getting at. Dawson Great Lakes Museum. Also, the Detroit Boat Club crew and the Detroit Yacht Club. There's also a municipal golf course, an aquarium, and also a Coast Guard post. Still only 2 temps away as Barrera though. Good news, we're up to lap 18 out of 37 that means we've only got 20 laps to go. We are nearly at half race distance. And it's closing. Barrera just can't seem to find that definitive edge. And this is one of the issues around here, that you get a bit of aero wash from the front end of these cars by following so closely. Now, what is aero wash? Of course, it's where the amount of air passing over all of the wings and dive planes that create downforce and push those front wheels into the car. Well, if you're following someone so closely, that all disappears as McGrew makes a mistake, and finally Barrera gets ahead for the first time in this race on lap 19. He's got it. Now, what can he do now he is in front? Is it the end of things for McGrew as Barrera just kicks up into the dirt there, running wide on the exit of 3? For those of you who stayed with us, thank you very much for being with us. McGrew's falling back 9/10 of a second as we look back from Barrera. Of course, this island is connected to Detroit by the MacArthur Bridge. Of course, with it being so not being used not that long ago, you know, the link between motor racing and the circuit ending not that long ago. All of the roads remain in place within the circuit. Now, one thing to guard against for international visitors is the fact that your mobile and cell phone will almost certainly think that you're in Canada at some point. Given the border is only just across the water. So you do need to watch out for international roaming charges as Barrera roams straight into the wall there. Picking up the pace a little bit, but McGrew is falling further and further behind. 1.8 seconds. Oh no, Barrera's made a mistake. He's locked up. Something's happened, folks. Let's take a look down from the XSLR chopper here to Barrera. Speed up a little bit. Let's see exactly. Just lose the rear all by himself. Oh, found it starting to go. Locked up all the wheels to keep it going into the wall. See if we can get it from the drone here. Different angle. It swoops around the pylon there. Sure, it's going to be the best view. It's just going to remain on a shot a little bit. Yeah, those pesky trees getting in the way. Let's see if we can pick it up from a different place. Let's go aboard. In fact, we can just see some of the driver inputs here into the steering wheel. How it all panned out. Yeah, the rear just started to go. And he did it to save it. And there goes Ronald McGrew back into the lead. In fact, let's look at it from McGrew's point of view. Easy as you like, folks. Easy as you like. As McGrew into the pits, Barrera follows him straight in. Non-Lectin to go again. Race on in the pit stops. Who will take it? Crucial stage of the race, this, folks. On lap 22 out of 37, they pull into the pit boxes. Ah, interesting. Barrera up on the jacks, replacing tyres. McGrew stays where he is. No tyre is being replaced. Just fuel for McGrew is that definitive part. Oh, and has he overfueled it? Well, Barrera comes out just in front despite changing tyres and the additional fuel. McGrew took on about 1.2 seconds longer. It's allowed McGrew to... So Barrera to come out in front. Bit of a wiggle there, trying to get some heat into those temperatures early on. Was it maybe that half spin that maybe elected him just to take those new tyres? Of course, he would have pumped a lot of heat into them by doing so. McGrew straight on the back of him though. Looking to throw some shapes, to make some move. Gap at 3 temps. Let's come around to complete our first out lap after the pits. McGrew looking a little bit more aggressive right now. We're at the business end of the race. We're using more of the chat compared to McGrew though. Is that a telling part of the story? Is that a telling part? Oh no, McGrew, just a bit of a mistake there. That's what's cost him. And in doing so, falls 1.3 seconds behind. He's lost a whole second. Such a shame. That was really shaping up to be a good one there, but I think this could be Barrera's moment. He will pull away. But last time he did make that mistake, which allowed McGrew to come back in front of him. "13 laps here from Belle. Do you prefer cats or dogs?" Now, if I was to come back as an animal, I would say it would be a cat. Now, hear me out on this one, viewers. Hear me out. If you are watching, congratulations, and give us a like. Please, just anyone, please, please. No, in all seriousness, though, cats have it easy, don't they? You could say they have the perfect life. But bad puns aside, making another plug in the chat to my by the commentator coffee link there, co-free.com/TimCoxMedia. Hint. Can make payments via PayPal or debit and credit card. Fortunately, the website does not take cash. But I mean, cats, they have it easy, don't they? Food on demand. They can beat the crap out of you, and then start fussing you and love you in a blink of an eye. Just changing that mood. Get to go out when you want. You've got a cat flap. You can take a massive dump, can't you, and stink the whole house out. And your owners just clear it up for you. Easy peasy. As we're approaching 10 to go here from Belle. 2.1 seconds is the gap. Let's take a little look back to the start. Exactly what went down. Clean getaway for everyone. Still had Mike Sorum with us at that stage of proceedings. And it remained pretty much that being the case up until, well, a little bit later on. Lap 19, in fact, where Barrera got the move done. That mistake from McGrew that cost him so dearly. Just pushed it a little bit too hard on corner exit. Tried to fight back McGrew, but it did not work. It was to no avail. Barrera was through. However, only one lap later, despite really kicking up the dust and playing with fire, getting so close. On so much onto that grass. Barrera then makes this mistake. That allowed Random McGrew to come storming past. There you go. You see the rear going there. Full opposite lock on. But it didn't matter. Oh no, 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 no. Viewers, we're going to have to head back to live pictures. Something major has happened because McGrew is in the pits. He was dropping off time 3 seconds behind Barrera. And he loses the rail and smacks into the wall, not once, but twice. You saw the understeer and corner entry there. Well, it's McGrew even out. He's out of the car. Barrera now just needs to have a bit of a country walk, and he wins this here. Now, what does not help proceedings is that Barrera has a little bit of a flaky connection. Now, I don't know why McGrew has not decided to come back out. Did he must have taken that fast? Spoke about this earlier in the race. Took that fast repair early on. Clearly did not have it available for him where he used it. And this is what I spoke about, that risk and reward factor. Here on a street circuit, any street circuit in general, let alone one like Belle. You get punished so severely for your mistakes, as McGrew has found out. Time for a sip of scotch, viewers. I'll take this one in. Justin Barrera's new fastest lap of the race. He's not hanging around, is he? And that must be large terminal damage from McGrew to just throw the towel in on that one. Because if Barrera makes a mistake and sticks it in the wall, then McGrew could thirdly end up turning this one around and winning. But he's decided to retire the car. We get to enjoy 9 laps now of the Justin Barrera show. I would say Justin Barrera is a cat person, judging by his profile picture. He is not a dog person. Like, dogs are incredibly loyal. Cats aren't, they're just... Well, let's be honest about it, viewers. They're just arseholes. Tosspots, to use a British phrase. Let's have a bit of a look into things. So,
you've been invaded, my friend.
Oh, hello. That really spooked me out then. Well, you've come along, I'm guessing, to have your podium interview. Try and pad out the last 8 laps of the Justin Barrera show. So,
yeah, that's right.
Let's have a little change up in terms of graphics then. And I think I want this one first. There we do. There we go. Let's get stuck into things here. Well, guaranteed a podium. Always a safe bet. I mean, early stages. How are you feeling with Justin Barrera? Just sat regularly 3 attempts at a maximum off the rear of your car.
Yeah, I started to pull a little gap early, but I knew he was just saving his stuff. I knew from the practice that he was way more consistent lap times than I was, and in the back half of the race, he'd be faster. My only real hope was to come out in front of him from the pits. I even short fueled a little bit to try to make that happen, and it didn't happen. So he got some good fuel saving in behind me. I've seen I've always performed well at this track. I've seen Justin also perform very well at this track, and it was pretty clear from the practice times that he was going to have me beat in the second half of the race unless something big happened. And with such a small field, nothing really big happened except for me trying to chase my own tail.
But having said all that, obviously he gets past you for that mistake where you just lose the rear a little bit, gets a bit squirrely coming in on a turn 2. Must have felt like all your Christmases came at once, where you saw him locking up and going straight on at, what, I think it's about turn 8? And then all of a sudden you just slide it past him up the inside.
It was a pretty crappy Christmas gift, if we're going to be honest. If he was going to make a big mistake, that was it. And if that was all he was going to get out of it, then I knew it was pretty much the writing was on the wall. He was going to be around me again. So I dipped in when I could, hoping he'd stay out. He didn't stay out. So he beat me on the pit stop, beat me in the race. He was faster today.
Let's talk about damage, Randall. So you've tapped the wall a few times, so did Justin as well. In terms of that, was there anything noticeably different with the car at all for the pit stop?
No, nothing really noticeable about it at all. We had 2 fast repairs, so I went ahead and took one. And once I bended, it was just, even if I took the fast repair and got back out there, it was over.
Were you not tempted to take the fast repair? Well, I assume not, because you didn't take the fast repair, your second one, go out there in the hope that maybe he stuck it in the wall all by himself?
No, he earned the win. It's his win. Let him have it.
Well, even so, a nice big juicy haul of points here today. Congratulations on the second, I think, maybe. A bit of a weird one. I'll have a bit of sip of my scotch to you, good sir. And, well, we'll see you in... we've got a week's break, haven't we? And then 2 weeks' time, Daytona Oval. How are you feeling about that one?
It'll be another yawn nap fest like Talladega was. That'll probably end up me dying the last lap trying to race up front with people who don't know what they're doing.
Would you expect any less whatsoever? But even so, congratulations on the second tonight, I think. Anyway, it's Randall McGrew, and well, you can feel free to stick around if you'd like to enjoy the remainder of the proceedings.
Well, laps in the Mustang.
Well, good luck with the Mustang, and hope that all goes well for you, and good luck, and we'll see you probably a couple of weeks' time from Daytona.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
Randall McGrew there. Randy, as he's also known. Five laps left to go for Barrera, and well, we don't need any confirmation that he is going to win this one here today. Now, what is your favourite tune to drive to? Always an interesting point. Some people, no music whatsoever. Maybe on the road or maybe even sim racing. It's banned in real life racing. Now that's an interesting point. Is playing music in your headphones banned in real life racing? Let's go on a little trip off Discovery together here, viewers. Because I don't honestly know. Don't honestly know. Now, here we go. An article from May 23 from TalkSport, a British talk radio show. Radio station, which, as you can tell from the name, for the first part, and the second part, you can definitely tell it's all about sport. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton, I didn't know this, he has a portable music studio which the Mercedes driver flies to races around the world. It's very similar to old Max Verstappen, isn't it, with his, of course, his sim rig that he has in his private plane. Now, he said, we told music-news.com that, Barrera in the pits, Ah. Oh, he's won anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. He said that I think music and sport marry really well together, and who could argue with that one? Everyone I meet in the world of music wants to be a racing car driver, and every racing car driver wants to be a musician. Oh, going for tyres. Are we going to go for a bit of fastest lap attempt here? Just try and smash it out of the park from Barrera. No, I don't think we are. There he is. Oh, maybe. He's backed off the jacks. Here we go again. Well, you may as well enjoy it. He's got all the time in the world. He's the only car left. This war of attrition. There we go. The perennial weave. Now, here we go, viewers. This is the answer we've all been waiting for. Do F1 drivers listen to music during races? And apparently, no. But interestingly, it is not actually banned in the official rules, but it is not done by any driver due to safety risks surrounding it. F1 cars can accelerate, of course, from 0 to 60 miles an hour in just 2.6 seconds, so listening to music would distract them from driving at high speeds. Of course, drivers need to hear essential radio instructions from the team, as well as any noises from their car to help diagnose maybe if they've got an issue, you know, really time those gear shifts to absolute perfection, even though of course they do have the gear change lights on the steering wheel. So there we go, it's not actually banned, you can do it. So, back to the original question. What was you listening to when you were driving? Some people for a bit of heavy metal, maybe a bit of 80s. It would be electric or soft rock. Stuff. I do enjoy a bit of drum and bass, which, contrary to what Adam Thompson does believe, was founder and administrator of the XSLR League, it is not EDM. It is not EDM. As much as he may claim, hey man, this sounds just like EDM. It's really not. Variety of drum and bass. You have liquid, very calming, melodic, through to jungle, which mashes the tunes with thumping beats, all the way up to really hard sounds of jump up. Or maybe even, you know, a bit of dance music in general, more towards the EDM spectrum, but a happy hardcore. Really get into the British music themes there, or maybe just a bit of normal rock, or even something like a bit of Adele, or yeah, more down the pop route. Yeah, that's thank you for joining us. Thank you for entertaining me. Well, where is everyone? Well, really shockingly low turnout tonight, and saw him put in the bin on lap 1, Randall McGrew. Hit the wall on lap 25 and totaled his car, which means we're just seeing out proceedings now. Justin Barrera to claim the victory, and he's trying to set the fastest lap of the racing. Doing so, skimming the wall like that's going to delete that time. It will have probably made him slower, realistically, when all's said and done, Liam. Expect to Randall McGrew earlier on after he retired the car. And, well, while he knew coming back out again probably wasn't the best of options despite having an additional fast repair to his name. So good to have you, Jerry P. Pereira. Everyone suddenly popping out in the chat right towards the end of the race here. Where have you been to keep me company all race long? It seems like everyone's on vacation while we are into the summertime, you know. People on holidays, enjoying their vacay. Here in Europe, maybe a cheeky trip down to Greece or Spain, Portugal. Vacation, everyone get banned? No, they haven't. There you go. There's the fastest lap of the race from Barrera. 1:19.98 from him. No one's been banned. No, I don't think anyone's ever been banned from XSLR. Saying Justin inspires him. Inspires you. He's amazing. Let's take it. White flag's in the air. He's got 1 lap left to go here. And we'll get to speak to him shortly about this race and how he's viewed it, how he thinks he's got on, how he's fared. We were saying earlier on the quite clinching pole, we felt that Barrera had much more consistent pace. One corner left to go. Barrera comes round. Take victory here from Belle in round 8 of XSLR Season 6. Takes the checkered flag. He's done. He is your victor. Be able to bring up some classified results because that will take a while to get through. Let's face it, viewers. There they are. Justin Barrera. The victory donut smacks it straight into the wall. That's a poor effort. Randall McGrew second. And Mike saw third. Well, show a bit of a chat to. We'll see if he pops along into the relevant Discord channel. Yes, I can see he sat there waiting with bated breath and anticipation. We'll get him in very, very shortly. Justin Barrera. Then. They will wear podiums, Leah. Exactly. That's one of the things. Entering tonight, you would guarantee a podium. That is one certainly. See, like death, taxes, and the swimming pool on Titanic still being full of water. But let's get across to Justin, and we'll have a bit of a chat to him. Oh, if I didn't mess it up. Well, let's have a chat to him. It is Justin Barrera. Easiest one you've ever had.
Oh, no. I was really worried at the start because of Randall. He started pulling away, and I didn't know if I could catch him, honestly. But when about like I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 laps, and then it started like not going anywhere, and a little bit later I started pulling back up to him. Yeah, it was fun. I really wish more people were here, honestly. Not just because of the broadcast, you know.
Yes, just so your own sanity in general. I mean, talking about that, I mean, obviously Belle, street circuit, walls on the edge of the track, high amount of, of danger and risk involved in that. You were following Randall around about 2 tenths or 3 tenths behind him for a large chunk of the first half of the race. Were you not worried about, front aero wash at all? From where obviously following so closely, especially through some of those sort of more medium speed, tight, twisty parts of the circuit.
No, the medium speed and the lower speed stuff, it's mainly the aero's there, but the aero effect of the wash isn't as bad. In fact, the worst place you feel aero wash on this track is turn 1 and 2. That's where that's the hardest part to get through behind somebody. And I was trying, but I couldn't do it. I just couldn't get to that area where I needed to be for an attack into T3. But the medium corners, no, it's mainly mechanical grip there, and it's just you gotta be very, very calm on the gas pedal.
Well, yeah, I mean, it worked out overall, and I mean, how frustrated were you when we saw you made that mistake? Lap 20 it was. Caught that, well, just missed it, and then all of a sudden spotted you were there. Went back and had a look at it. Just you could see the rear end just appearing to get loose on you a little bit.
I was on a fast lap, and I took a different line through that section of track, and when I came over, my car started stepping out, and I was like, well, I just did the best I could to keep it from going into a wall or worse. And I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with it. We'll just regroup and then see if we can catch them. If not, then whatever. Maybe we can jump forward in the pit stop. And thankfully, we caught back up to him. I think he was either overdriving or burning through his tires. I don't know if he talked to you about it.
Didn't really appear to. Well, he didn't mention about his tires and them proving to be a bit of an issue at all. Just felt he felt overall that although he had pace, you were way more consistent, and that's how you were able to take victory. And he said you were fully justified in doing so.
Yeah, I was like I said, it was a really good run with him. I had a lot of fun. I just wish everybody was here or more people were here. It's obvious the LMP2 is gonna be dead. I mean, I expect people to show up for the oval, or the next 2 races because those people have, and people like the ovals. So,
yes, I mean, as you said, the ovals just have to turn left a couple of times, and that's you done for each lap. But at the Daytona, it's one of the more commonly driven circuits on the surface, isn't it? On the road, the Roval. Yeah, combined with it's not a great deal amount of corners there. It's easier to drive compared to, well, certainly compared to tonight.
I was trying to get you to pull me in, so since there's only 3 people, we could do a commentary at the same race and commentary at the same time.
I got into a bit of a monologue, so apologies about that. Didn't think to go and look, although I did actually cross my mind at one stage, but never went to look. So, yes.
Yeah, I should have PM'd you. I said something in the SMB server, but it's all good. I'm gonna thank quickly the league, Slow Motion Broadcasting. I can't even. My mom, dad, sister, brother, everybody I know. And then also thank Leah for the good drive. We did an endurance earlier, so that was a pretty good event.
Oh no, what did you do?
We did VRS endurance at Road Atlanta. We were in top split.
Oh wow!
I screwed up our pit stop somewhat, and then I also spun the car into a wall. I mean, we didn't lose out too bad, but it still sucks that when it could be a top 10 became a top 20. So yeah, it is what it is. But what was I gonna say? Oh, for this track, I know and what I can tell people is the tune that came on the car. It's a set up tune for the track. The problem is the bias is so far backwards at 48. You start burning your tires when you're trying to turn. Because you're putting more heat into the rears, and then you're also trying to use the rears to accelerate. Then you start burning up the tires, and it starts getting loose through these corners. I literally moved the bias forward to get the heat back out, and you still got to balance your throttle. It's like there's a lot of times you think you're going slow, but you're going faster by just waiting, staying off the gas pedal and waiting to get on it through a corner, or just leaving it in higher gear.
Bit of a testament to maybe why they don't come here in real life. Lack of overtaking opportunities. It's challenging, costly for the teams when they put it in the wall as well. Maybe a bit of a mix of everything.
Maybe. I'm pretty sure it more has to do with politics over there than this. I really always thought this was a great street track to watch and to race. There's tons out there, but this one I always thought was good. It's sad that it's gone now.
It is a shame. Also, because I mentioned early on, moved back downtown. But either way, Justin, I've got a break for a week. But good luck for the Daytona Oval in 2 weeks' time when we return.
Yeah, I'll do my best to stay alive and not kill anybody. I know. I got that oval wrath on me. So yeah.
No worries. That's Justin Bro, your winner here today. Well, viewers, share a little bit of music to play us out with. Here we go. What have we learned today? Well, we've learned the history lesson, haven't we? For those of you who joined earlier on, You got to experience it. All about the history of this iconic circuit to Charlotte Belle. Get into a nice. Let's get it into a nice little drone scenic. There we go. So taking some of the sights here from Belle Isle. Although the history books will show that maybe it was a bit of a drawn out affair. First half it was incredibly close between Barrera and McGrew. They battled out. Testifying race after who would take it. However, that mistake by McGrew, that proved costly. And that meant that Barrera got past, but then Barrera had his own mistake as we heard from him, locking up the tyres. McGrew got past again. However, viewers, McGrew then having the big mistake after the pit stops, sticking it in the wall. It was game over for him. Sadly, he had to retire the car. However, big shout he's getting Mike Sorum, keeping on the track. He picks up the points for finishing third, finishing on the podium here from Belle Isle. But well, as we say goodbye on this round, and for weeks off week next week, we will be back in 2 weeks' time when we head to Daytona on the Oval for closing out the season. Just 1 week later, back at Daytona, but on the Road and Oval section. Viewers, I've been Tim Cox. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to buy me a coffee, links in the chat a bit further up. code-v.com/Tim Cox. Hint, much appreciated. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you from Daytona in 2 weeks' time. Good night, God bless, goodbye.
Not. So Patrick, do we describe this for everybody, Rob?
What?
You
What?
describe it. You describe it. I
What?
do enough talking.
I think any car's dead in iRacing. I think it's gone.
Oh, it's definitely. I agree. It's not going to survive much. But I still think we'll find opportunities to race it, just not as fruitful as before. Some of your, like, some of them just want to like make. What's the thing? Like that guy wanted to make like dolls out of Tyler's hair, but then there's just other guys who are just like. He did. He would say weird things to Tyler, man. Like he was a strange guy, and then like other guys would just show up and nowhere. He's like,
I
"Oh,
just need to-
we never met you? Sure, come race this 24 with us." And then you just jump in the car and wreck us out in a lap and be like, "Okay, never see you again."
Yeah, that
Like,
was
okay. Well, better luck next year, I guess.
that was the guy from